Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Before there was return on investment, there was a consumer looking at, processing, and reacting to an advertisement. That point, that process, consumers' reactions to advertising, is the focus of the second part of our project that we're going to report to you today about. But before we get there, let's just step back for 1 second and put this again into perspective. As you heard from Gail and David, and as you just saw in Jesper's presentation, this is a very unique research project. And there are 3 reasons for that. Number one, as has been mentioned, the scope of this project is really unprecedented. And you really have to go back 25 years to the study on how advertising works that was done with behavior scan data. The second reason is that in this study, we also included an analysis of industry practices and strategies and compare those with our new deep insights on how consumers process advertising. So we would focus on the difference between the practices and what the research might say to see if there were lessons to be learned. And yes, we did find some lessons that we believe will help you make advertising more effective and especially make your creative more effective. The third point, and maybe the most important point, is that in this research, we used new research methodologies that unlock insights that the researchers 25 years ago could only speculate about. And that point, those insights, is how advertising affects emotions and how these emotions affect, determine, influence how advertising works and ultimately your ROI and your business growth. Now, most of you know that I'm talking about neuroscience-based methods because the ARF has been a pioneer, a leader in exploring these methods and also in promoting these methods. I've been very much involved in this process. So I'm very, very excited that at this conference on Wednesday, a brand new paper will be unveiled that corroborates the findings of the ARF Neuro 2 study, the very important Neuro 2 study, which found that neuroscience methodologies can, in fact, identify creative executions that sell more. This was a very important proof that the membership demanded of the ARF to really establish that these new methodologies would really help them sell more. So we think we really made the right decision in this second part of the project to put neuroscience-based methods front and center. And we are very, very confident that the conclusions that we reach, those methodologies, combined with our meta-analysis of the research over the last 80 years, if you want, comparing different kinds of studies, looking at those findings that provide a corroboration. As I said, we are very, very confident we made the right decision to use these science methods, and we are very, very confident that we reach conclusions that are solid and really will help you build your business. And since we also believe that neuroscience methods are going to be even more important in the future, as you just heard earlier from Gail, we added a new member to the ARF staff. And he, in contrast to me, is a real neuroscientist. So we're very, very happy that we added Dr. Manuel Garcia-Garcia to the research staff. And I would like to introduce him now to you. He will take you through the study. He will summarize the study for you. And so please help me welcome Dr. Manuel Garcia. There you go.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations on the music selection. That was fantastic and a surprise. Well, thank you, Horst. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to ReThink. So I have to tell you that Horst and I are really, really excited and really proud of the work that we've done here with all our amazing partners and sponsors on this project so we can bring you here today the neural pathways to great creative. So we reviewed a lot of literature. We reviewed over 250 studies, more than 50 neuroscience studies. We conducted 2 original experiments. So we've done research that's worth $300,000 of investment. And that's been building on our 2011 Neuro 1 experiment, the 2013 Neuro 2 experiment. So now I can bring you here in 2016 how advertising works today. So back in 2010, the industry was starting to hear about all these new neuroscience methods and neuroscience techniques and the application to market research. And then people were wondering if it was actually valuable, right? A couple of years later, in 2013, you were all familiar with this, right? It's been around for a while. But the question was, can this neuroscience method actually identify creative that sells more? So the ARF took the lead to answer these questions for the industry. And again, in 2011, in Neuro 1, we saw that neuroscience provides these granular diagnostics, these moment-by-moment insights that's crucial to not just qualify your creative, but also to optimize it and bring it from good to great. And we also saw that the strength of neuroscience methods lies in the ability to uncover emotional reactions much better than traditional methods do. Then a couple of years later, in Neuro 2, we saw that obviously traditional copy testing works, but if we add neuroscience insights to that, we can increase sales predictability. So we know that brands are built in the brain, and they get built in the brain through all those implicit associations that we form very often through advertising. And that's why great creative builds brand in the brain. And as Jasper said, creative is the most important factor in a campaign success. And we also know that we do not live in one platform, that we use a lot of different platforms and devices throughout the day. So now the question is, what is the neural pathway to great creative across platform? So here's the first step to the roadmap that we're bringing you to great creative across platform. Coordinate your creative strategies across different platforms. Do not develop campaigns in silos, differently for radio than for TV, than for digital. Coordinate your creative strategy. And why is that? So first of all, we know that cross-platform advertising builds brands in the consumer brain much better than single platform. And this is because across platforms, you are reinforcing your message in such way that it gets encoded in memory in a more complex manner. So we saw this kicker effect that Jasper was talking about before. For instance, in this one experiment where participants were exposed to advertising either once on TV, twice on TV, or once on TV plus once on mobile. And as you can see here, being exposed to advertising across different platforms elicited higher recalls. So then after the exposure, they were asked what they recalled, and it was higher across platform than twice on TV. And so was the intent of purchase. But there's a key element here that's very important, is that those campaigns were coordinated. They were using the same creative strategy to lead to this kicker effect. So in this other example, we were actually looking at the brain activity to see what was the level of memory activation, while participants were exposed to advertising first on TV and only 30 minutes later on radio. So as you can see here on case 1 and 2, these campaigns were not coordinated. They were using different creative strategies for the first platform and the second platform. And as you can see, the memory activation on the second platform was even lower than the first platform that they had seen it on TV just 30 minutes before. But however, as you see in case 3 and 4, where those campaigns were coordinated, they were using the same creative strategy, memory built up, but built up even up to 95%. So this is proving those quantified results that Jasper was talking about before on that kicker effect. And this is important because still today, 1 in 5 cross-platform campaigns are not coordinated and are using different creative strategies. And here's the second step. Customize your execution to each platform. So what happens if we develop an amazing ad for TV, and then we just reused it in every different platform. So I'm going to show you. Here you're looking at this heat map is where people are looking at. That's the eye tracker. And as you can see, this creative is amazing. It's doing a great job in guiding the consumer's gaze toward the brand, toward the message on the tagline. It's fantastic. But what happens if we take the exact same execution with absolutely no modification and just throw it to mobile? As you can see, the gaze, the eyes of the consumer are like all over the place. And you're losing a lot of effectiveness and a lot of focus on the brand and on the message. And then what happens if we actually go to the consumer's emotion when this is happening? So here you're looking at data from skin conductance response. That's your sweat that reflects excitement and reflects arousal, and smiling activity from your facial expression. So you see that if you take a fantastic creative and place the same execution on mobile with no modification, you can lose up to 50% emotional engagement. So you have a great opportunity to amplify viewers' engagement by adapting the execution to the platform. So in this one case, the creative is not filling the whole TV screen, which is not optimal. But as you can see, it's fantastic for mobile. It's totally optimized for mobile. So you can amplify your viewers' engagement by adapting the execution to the platform.
In my life, I have lived millions of lives. I've outrun robots.
And the thing is that today, only 38% of campaigns are using an execution that is customized to the platform. So there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of missing out there. But again, it's not only the screen size that matters. It's also the behavior around a platform. So if you look at the way we're watching TV every evening, most of the time our eyes are not even on the TV. And actually, research has shown that up to 65% of the time, the eyes are on a second screen and are not on the TV. So we're missing out there on the video. But the ears are everywhere. The ears are monitoring everything, and the audio is on. So you can leverage the audio. You can use the power of sound to snap them back and to bring the eyes back to the TV screen. But not only that. So neuroscience has shown that when you induce that snapback effect and bring the eyes back to the TV screen, emotion goes up in 15%. So that is a fantastic opportunity to place your brand, to place your product, and take advantage of that effect. So here's the neural pathway to great creative. This is what I'm here to bring you today. Coordinate your creative strategy across platform and customize your execution to each platform. So what happens if you actually follow this roadmap? So first of all, you can increase your positive consumer sentiment in 31%. And there you say, well, this is fantastic. But does that actually translate into sales? It does. So you can increase your return of investment up to 57%. 57%. So remember, coordinate your creative strategies across platform to benefit from synergy effects, customize the creative, customize the execution to each platform to amplify engagement. And then here's our definitive call to action from the research that Jasper and Horst and I presented today. Invest in advertising to build strong brands, because advertising works on all platforms. And cross-platform advertising improves consumers' ad processing better than advertising only one platform. And then again, coordinate your creative strategies, customize your execution to the platform to get the best results. And if you want to know more, please join Horst and myself at 11:50 at Gramercy West. We're going to have a panel with some of our partners, Carl Marcy from Nielsen, Duane Varan from Media Science, and Pranav Yadav from Neuro Insight. So I hope to see you there. Thank you very much.